Hi guys, and a very warm welcome to episode 4 of Glory Week, where there was only ever going to be one guest. It is, of course, Glory ALW skipper Tash Rigby. Tash, thanks for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me.
There's a very special reason for having Tash on, apart from the fact that she's just a great interviewee, because on Saturday, of course, she is poised to make her 100th appearance for the club. Tash, it's an amazing milestone. How are you feeling now a few days ahead of it?
I'm feeling excited, a little bit nervous, but I'm so grateful to be able to walk out for the 100th time for Glory. It's just such an amazing opportunity and an honour.
Now, only 2 other players have actually managed to hit the 3 figures for Glory. Can you name them?
I can. Shannon May and Mariana Savane.
It's almost like we rehearsed
Yeah.
it. There you go. So esteemed company, you played with both. Fantastic to be sharing this with them.
100%. They're both really close friends of mine and absolutely incredible players. So yeah, it's a big honour.
Right, well, you're already getting a little bit emotional, which is good because we're going to be going through your Glory story and indeed your football journey right from the start. So plenty more tears, I imagine, probably coming up before the end. But this particular series is, of course, brought to you in conjunction with the city of Fremantle. Now, I do think that technically we might have just strayed across the border into the city of Coburn, but we're just going to roll with it anyway because we are at C.Y. O'Connor Reserve, named after C.Y. O'Connor, an Irish engineer from County Meath who came over to Western Australia and enjoyed great success in his engineering. He was the architect, designer, and oversaw the construction of Frio Harbour, no less, which was completed in 1897, Tash, as I'm sure you would have told me.
Absolutely.
If I'd forgotten that particular date. So he did extremely well with that project. Then he started the Goldfields Water Pipeline project, which ended up being a success. But during its construction, he did cop a lot of criticism from the media. And unfortunately, Tash, in 1902, he took that really badly, got himself on his horse, and just walked the horse into the sea and shot himself in the head. So yeah, that was the end of C.Y. O'Connor, but he has left a fantastic legacy. Before the vibe dips any more, we're going to get back to your football journey, Tash. So let's take you back to Margaret River as a child, growing up there. How did it all start?
Yes, so I grew up playing in Margs. I started at the age of 10. I had a lot of energy as a kid, so Mum thought that the best thing to put me into would have been
I can't believe
soccer. I was doing a lot of athletics at the time and Mum just wanted me out of the house, and so she took me down to the Margaret River Football Club and that's where my journey began. And honestly, I fell in love with it as soon as I went down there. It was an incredible environment and the space that they were creating was super safe and free of judgment, and my coach was such an amazing male champion, so I didn't feel any different to the boys. I played with one other girl, shout out to John Bernhardt, she was an incredible player as well, and yeah, I then played until I was about 15 or 13 with the boys, and then joined an all-girls team, and that's when I started taking football a little bit more seriously and got selected for a few state teams and went away and represented WA.
And then eventually you sort of moved up to Perth for studies, but also to try and pursue the football a little bit more?
Yeah, 100%. So I originally moved up to study at the University of Western Australia. So I took a gap year and actually went travelling for 6 months backpacking when I was 18, which was amazing. I went to Europe and had the best time of my life. And that was incredible, I think, just for my own personal journey and growth. And then, yeah, I started playing for UWA in the State League at the time. And I only played because I loved it. So back then there wasn't the same visibility as there is now around the women's game, and I, growing up in the country, didn't even realise that Glory existed until I moved to Perth. So yeah, to see there was a pathway and an option for me, it was really exciting. And then I ended up getting the opportunity to play against the Perth Glory women's team in an all-star state match. And yeah, that's ended up being how I was identified.
Was that Forestfield, that one?
Yes, it was. Yeah,
I remember it,
Yeah.
remember it well. So you walk into that Glory changing room for the first time, I think 2016-17 season, I think it was. Just give us a little snapshot of what that looks like, the big characters, the big voices in there, and you coming in there. I imagine, well, it's hard to imagine with you, but maybe a little bit meek and mild going in to start with, maybe?
100% no, I was incredibly nervous. I'd never been, the state game for me was such an amazing opportunity. I'd never been given an opportunity like that. So I was nervous for the state game, let alone the trial. and obviously Sam Kerr was captain at the time, and there was some really big characters and personalities in there. And yeah, I just kind of walked in with my head down and trying to keep to myself. And then this moment stands out to me so much, and such a credit to the person that Sam was. She remembered me from when we used to play together back in the day when we were about 15, so like 6 years earlier or 7 years earlier. And she remembered me, welcomed me with a really big hug, and like introduced me to the team, and that just made me feel really, really safe and really welcome and free to be myself. So yeah, that was an awesome moment for me. And then yeah, I had a 2-week trial, and I had no hope that I'd gotten in, and then surprise, surprise, I ended up getting in. So I think it's like 8 years later now, which is crazy.
Amazing. And then that first season culminates in a grand final, no less.
Yes.
So it didn't go too badly.
Yeah, it was an amazing opportunity. To be able to play in a grand final in my first season was crazy. It was amazing, and unfortunately we didn't get the win, but just the moment in itself and the occasion was incredible. And yeah, then we ended up playing another grand final a few years later, I believe, too.
2019, that was, yeah.
Good fact-checking.
You've been looking at the sheet. You've jumped on to the next question. So, yeah, the away one over in Sydney, I was fortunate enough to be at that one myself. What are your memories of that?
I remember it being it was amazing, an amazing opportunity, but I do remember it being quite tough, because I think we'd had a really big game the week before, and then there was quite a bit of travel, and then even the field wasn't great either, I remember.
Yeah,
but
terrible.
It was a really good crowd, and Sydney were an amazing team, and yeah, it was awesome, but I think we'd played our grand final the week before, unfortunately.
That's right, that victory game. One of your best memories, I imagine?
100%, that game was insane. I think it was 130 minutes of like intense football. I think I ended up running something like 15 Ks in that game, which was crazy. But yeah, that game itself was incredible.
So the following season, Bobby Despotowski was in charge, and he makes you captain. How did that conversation come about, and what was your reaction to that?
I don't actually remember the conversation, but I obviously remember him asking me, and me being equal parts incredibly excited and equal parts so scared, because to me I'd only really just started playing really at that level, and I was still finding my feet as a player, and to be given that opportunity is such an incredible honour, but I really didn't feel like prepared, and I think you never feel prepared for moments like that. But yeah, over the years that I've been able and been lucky enough to be the captain of this team, I've definitely grown every single year, and I still continue to grow and learn every single year. But I feel like I've really found my feet in the last couple of years, and yeah, this year in itself has been amazing, and I'm so lucky to be able to captain our team.
After Bobby departed, Alex Ipakis came in. How would you characterise your relationship with Alex?
Oh, Alex is amazing. I am so grateful for Bobby, and I'm so grateful for Alex, because they've allowed me to be where I am today. And Alex and I have a really strong relationship. We have a really solid rapport, and a really solid understanding of each other. And he's shown such amazing belief in me that I'm so incredibly grateful for. And he's also developed me as a player so much. I think the growth that I've had under Alex personally has been absolutely incredible. And in terms of what he's been able to do for the team itself, has been amazing. To watch him grow as a coach and grow together, and to where we are at the moment has been phenomenal. It's so exciting, and I absolutely love working with him.
Were you a little bit surprised to see him wearing shorts at the weekend? We were in the media box.
He's not really a shorts man, is he?
He's not.
He changed it up though, and I love it. He used to always wear like proper like game day outfits, but he's kind of thrown it back a little bit now.
He has. He's gone a bit more sort of traditional touchline,
Yes,
hasn't he?
he
looked a
has.
bit more going out.
Yeah.
Before.
He did.
He has. No, you're right. We've noticed the change. We have. Now, let's talk about goals. 2 goals in your career.
Crazy.
The first one took a long time coming, so let's start with that one. Last year at home, just talk us through the move, the goal, and in particular the reaction.
Yeah, well, you've always been on my back about scoring, and so I thought, finally, okay, for Gareth, I'll do it. It was so crazy, honestly. Like, I always said I would do like all these different celebrations, and I think I just blacked out when I ended up scoring. I don't remember anything. I just remember screaming. I remember grabbing Alana and just screaming.
Turned over by Western Sydney. Real chance here for Perth Glory.
But yeah, I intercepted the ball, and then I think I played Lance. Lance played a 1-2. amazing ball through from Lance, such an incredible player. And then, yeah, I just like went across the goal. I think it went through the keeper's legs as well, which was fun. And then, yeah, I just blacked out and screamed, and then that was amazing. And then, yeah, I scored my second goal last weekend.
Yes.
And it goes into the back of the net. And Perth, after relentless attack and relentless corners, and it looks like Tash Rigby, the captain for Perth Glory.
You've always said it was going to be a header, so again, I was like, got to do it for you, and it was this little sneaky back post header, which was fun too.
I've guided you through your goal-scoring career. I think I can take credit
so
for that.
You.
Now, in terms of, obviously, I've not been the biggest influence on your career. I understand, probably third or fourth, but obviously not top. Just, you've mentioned a couple of coaches and so on. Who would be the biggest influences on your career?
Yeah, 100%. I think Bobby, I'm so grateful for Bobby. He was the one that saw something in me and believed in me and gave me my opportunity. So he's fantastic, and he's just been so amazing for my journey. And then Alex as well, like I said, he's such an incredible coach and has played a big part in my development and my leadership as well. And then, yeah, I've just had such amazing players that I've been able to play with, especially in the early days. Being under Sam, playing under Sam as captain was incredible, and I just learnt so much from her, not only on the field but as a leader as well. And then Kim Carroll has been a really, really big influence and inspiration to me. She is such an amazing person and such an incredible leader, and just such a smart player as well. So she's been a big mentor for me. Shannon May as well. She, back in the day when we used to play together, she was an incredible support for me always. And then just my family have been amazing. Mum is such an incredible support of mine. She's amazing, and Dad as well, my broad family, and then, yeah, all my amazing friends. They're my world. So, yeah, I couldn't have done it without them. And, yeah, and Ange as well. She was an amazing support too.
Just a shout out to Deb Rigby, Mrs. Rigby, for great support on social media, Facebook in particular. Always very positive on there.
Yeah, she's
and very
best.
positive when we chatted to her at MGP as well.
Yes.
Yeah. I'd had a couple of wines, I think,
Yeah, always.
at that stage.
Always.
Yeah. She definitely had. Now, you mentioned Kim Carroll there. Yourself and Kim doing a little bit of media work when the Matildas were over. How did that go?
Yeah, it was amazing. We were able to jump in the commentary box together for ABC, which was so much fun. I just love every moment with Kim, and she's just such a great girl. But yeah, that was really exciting, and to have her expertise, obviously, she's an icon in herself. And yeah, to enjoy that with her was really nice.
Do you think that's something you might look to go into post-football?
Yeah, definitely. I don't mind talking. So I think it could be definitely an opportunity for me to pursue after football. But yeah, the world is like open to interpretation for me. We'll see what happens.
Well, on the subject of media, we had a little bit of feedback about the last episode of Glory Week, where it was suggested that I was using this show as a vehicle to audition for Getaway. Now, I'm going to come to that and refute that allegation shortly, but I mentioned Getaway earlier on. You've only been on it before.
I know.
How did this happen?
I don't know.
Talk us through this.
So we were on, I think I was probably like 10 or something, and they came down to Margaret River to do a bit of a promo. And I don't know how it ended up happening. Dad's a journalist and was working in marketing, so I think they just like picked a family. And yeah, we were on it, and it was so much fun. It was our like claim to fame as a family growing up.
Have to try and dig the footage out.
Yeah,
We've got to
absolutely.
try. Did you have to speak, or were you just sort of in the
No, I was just running around like a little kid, you know, like a crazy little kid.
Well, just to clarify, not auditioning for Getaway. Having said that, if the producers are watching and they are looking to send someone over to, say, Tahiti or Koh Samui to do a report on, for example, a 6-star health spa retreat, could technically be available. Tash, definitely available,
Absolutely.
I would say, for that one, subject to games, training, etc. But yeah, I think it's probably time for a change on the show. Catriona Roundtree, and you'll back me up on this, Tash, has developed a reputation for being a little bit difficult, a bit demanding, so a bit sort of Mariah Carey-esque in terms of travel shows. So yeah, if they are watching, then I'm certainly available, and I think Tash would throw a hat into the ring as well. But right, that is enough. Let's just focus just briefly on Saturday's game. Well, first of all, we'll start with last Saturday. Fantastic win, a hard-fought win over Adelaide. Did you pull up okay, Tash?
Yeah, it was a hard-fought win. I think the first half wasn't really our half, and it wasn't the style that we've been playing. And then Alex had a good chat to us at half time, and then we came out like we have been in our first 2 games. And yeah, it was a really good opportunity for us to kind of see if we can respond from coming from 1-0 down, and we were able to do that, which was awesome. And yeah, I was really proud of our second half. It was a solid performance from the girls.
And then victory coming up, as we mentioned earlier in the chat. We've had some absolute ding-dong battles with them over the years. You expecting another one this weekend?
Yeah, definitely. I think we play really well against Victory. Like, we've had really good games against them at home, so I think it'll be a really good test for us as well. They're a very quality team. They've got Gilnick and KK in the team, so I think that'll bring a lot of strength for them, but I have full faith in us. I think it'll be a really good battle.
Expecting plenty of family and friends there for the milestone game?
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely going to try and get everyone down.
Is it going to be hard, in all seriousness? Is it going to be hard to just keep focused with everything that's going on around the milestone?
No, I don't think so. I think it's just a game in the end, and they'll just prepare like I would any other game, and it is a big game for us, and we're just focusing on our personal goals as a team too. So we'll just keep that as my drive and motivation, and then yeah, the 100 is just like a little extra tasty cherry on top.
Well, let's hope we can mark that milestone with a win. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting as always, Tash. Now, tickets for that game on Saturday evening at Macedonia Park are available on the Glory website. It's at 7 o'clock kickoff, and we would absolutely love to see as many members and fans as possible coming along. Remember, no game for the men this weekend due to the international break, so the entire focus of the club this week is on that game against Melbourne Victory as we look to make it 5 wins from 5. That is it for Glory Week this week. Thanks very much, Tash, for your time today. Thanks very much as well to the City of Fremantle for their support, and we'll catch you again next week.